That's perfect. That's perfect. Uh, Well, Coach, I guess we just start off with what are you liking, what you seeing so far in spring practice?
Well, Heath, I've been very pleased with really everyone associated with our team, especially on defense. The effort that they've played with so far, and then the overall just buy-in. These kids are literally doing everything we're asking them to do. There's no pushback. There's no complaining. They want to be coached. They want to be coached hard. They want to be loved, and it's really been a lot of fun, to be honest. You're kind of restarting, and you're fresh with everybody, and that's been the biggest thing from that standpoint. And then, being in pads last couple of days, when you're not in pads, you can convince yourself of a lot of things, good or bad. And since we put pads on, I think our kids have played with physicality and great effort. So I've been very pleased with that. And then, I've been very impressed with our defensive coaches. They've done everything we've asked them to do. Their buy-in, their understanding of the system, and our process in which how we do things on defense, from meeting days to practice days, everything that comes with that. Their buy-in has been tremendous. That's Brandon Lacey, our defensive line coach, Mark Kreiner, our outside linebackers coach, our safeties coach, Dan O'Brien, and our corners coach, Chad Williams, along with our support staff. They've all done a phenomenal job.
Can you maybe talk about similarities, and it may be totally different on your side, but what are the similarities maybe with what Southern Miss defense has done in the past as compared to now, maybe with the fronts that they put up? Is there a lot of similarities, or is it totally different what you're installing?
Well, Heath, truth be known, man, I don't know much of the last couple of years with the previous staff. I know a couple of years ago they did a really good job on defense, and there is a base there. You've got to give credit to the other staff for the job they've done with that. But what we do front and coverage wise is significantly different. There are a couple similarities just because there's trends in defensive football that people do, right? But there's really not that much. We're very multiple with the front. We're going to play 3 down. We're going to play 4 down, and we're going to play different variations of 3 down and 4 down. And there's really not that many similarities, but certainly there's certain techniques that come that were similar to what the previous staff was doing.
How do you feel the players are adapting to maybe the new uh, language, new schemes? How do you feel, even though you really hadn't had 4 days in the practice? How do you feel like that they're adapting to it now?
To be honest, Heath, they've done a phenomenal job. What we do is not easy. We're not line up and play over cover 3 or play 3-man front drop 8 the whole game and hey, just let them play and go play hard. It's not what we do. We're an aggressive, attacking style defense. We have a lot of checks, a lot of adjustments. One person can move within each call, and you have an adjustment to it. You've got to communicate. And I've been so impressed, and I think that goes back to one, giving credit to our coaches, the job they've done. They've learned a new system too, and span of the last month and a half, and to be able to help implement it. And certainly there's hiccups there, but the players, their buy-in has been incredible. It's been awesome, to be honest. Almost really humbling what our kids have done from the off days when they take corrections. When we're here as a whole defense as a unit going over corrections, the humility that comes with that, and they want to get it right. And their buy-in, their urgency, their intensity has been great, and the execution has been pretty good, especially relative to a new system.
Um, Glenn, you got a question, buddy? Go ahead. Oh, well, I was going to ask you, with the way the rules are in college sports now, college football nowadays, unnecessary roughness, targeting, how hard is it for you to come in and coach aggressiveness, but yet and still try to establish, to where you're not being overly aggressive? Is that how do you, as a coach, I guess, combine the two and try to play within the rules but aggressive with the way things have changed?
At the end of the day, I know this kind of sounds whatever. The rules are the rules. You can't hit them high and you can't hit them really low. And you have to teach that. And every day, we do a tackling circuit and we emphasize those things. We emphasize keeping your eyes up, hitting the strike zone, which is, your torso, your waist to your chest, and that's the rules. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any gray area about it. At the end of the day, when you're playing a game like this, where there's a lot of moving parts and speed, I mean, those things are going to happen, but we have to coach it and correct it every time it shows up in a negative light in practice. You know what I'm saying? And we need to clearly define it for them, and we try to do that in every defensive meeting every single day, whatever the rules are. Like today, we had some live periods. Some, which meant by that, we're tackling them to the ground. The other periods were thud, which means we're just butting them and letting them go. You know what I'm saying? So those are the rules, and you have to be able to do that. And I think it goes down to clearly defining it for them and showing good examples and bad examples throughout football, and teach them and letting them grow.
Last question I have for you: who has been some guys that have stood out to you in spring practice so far? Some guys that have really stepped up and showed you something this
Uh,
early.
I don't really want to single anybody out right now. I've been really impressed with the whole unit, like I said, with their physicality and effort and their buy-in, and they're fun to be around. Heath, I mean, it's a joy to come to this defensive meeting every day, and be around these guys. Up front, Coach Lacey's crew up there, Sykes and Kitchens and Jock and Q. I mean, they're all have done a good job, and certainly there's been mistakes, but their buy-in has been great. At linebacker, our group, Swayze Bozeman and Hayes, Santrell Latham, Rakeem Booth, Zach Portlock, all those guys, they're buying in. They're doing what we're asking them to do. It's safety, Jay Stanley, Malik Shorts, right? Those guys, Coach O'Brien's doing a phenomenal job in a very complex system. And at corner, Coach Williams with Cam Harrell and Lakevius Daniel and all those guys in that group, they're doing a phenomenal job. I'm sorry I can't list all of them, but they're doing everything we're asking them to do. They're taking corrections, and we're growing. I think we're getting better as a defense every day.